Hey, what's going on? Welcome to avchesslab. My name is Alex, and I got some crazy hot opening tricks for you guys today, right out of the Tennison Gambit. It is going to be a short video, and you should be able to put this to practice right away and start winning games. Let's get to it. If you're new here and want to learn some cool chess tricks and improve your chess knowledge in general, start by subscribing and hitting the bell so you do not miss any uploads. My friends, welcome to the world of the Tennison Gambit. But before we start, I must advise that you should not try this against players above 2000, and it is best if used at faster time controls like Blitz and Bullet. But if you try it with success against a high-rated opponent, let me know in the comments down below. We start with the e4, d5, a Scandinavian defense, and you hit them with boom, knight to f3. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, man, no one ever plays a Scandinavian defense. No problem, I got you. Let's go back to the beginning and let's try a different move order. Start with knight to f3. Now, there's a chance your opponent does not play d5, but you will get d5 in reply 70 to 80% of the time, and after this move, you can transpose into the Tennison Gambit with e4. The most typical reply here is to capture the pawn, and we're gonna go knight to g5, attacking the pawn and hitting the square on f7 with our knight. There are many options here for black to hold on to his extra pawn. He can go for f5, bishop to f5, queen to d5, or even knight to f6. There are tricks in all of these lines, so let's go with the most common first, knight to f6. We're going to follow with d3. Since black has double pawns here on the e file, he's most likely going to take on d3 and fix the structure. We capture back with our bishop. In this position, most beginner players and players not familiar with this gambit, trust me, it is a lot of them, will play the move h6. The knight here on g5 looks very scary, and it is natural for people to want to kick this knight out of the square so close to the king. But when h6 is played, you're going to smile and very swiftly and slowly grab your knight and thump it on f7. At this point, the game is already over. We're attacking both the queen and the rook, so this king is forced to capture our knight with king takes on f7. But this very beautiful bishop to g6 check, we attack the king, we attack the queen, and when the king takes our bishop, we're simply going to remove this queen from the board and the game is over. Come on, if you like this combination, give the video a like, and while you're at it, subscribe so you don't miss any more opening tricks videos like this in the future. Okay, that was the first combination. Let's see now what happens if black tries to defend with bishop to f5. From here, we develop our other knight to c3, and we attack now the pawn with both of our knights. Black is going to do the same thing. They're going to develop their knight to f6 and at the same time protecting the pawn. From here, we're going to play queen to e2 and we're going to attack this pawn for the third time. Now we have three pieces attacking it. If black wants to defend and keep his extra pawn, he will play this move queen to d4. And when we see this move, we're going to smile since we know it is now game over. Let's see how. Here we play queen to b5. This is a check. This attacks the bishop, and this also attacks the pawn on b7. If black wants to defend against the threat on the bishop, he is forced to play bishop to d7 here. From this moment, we're going to capture the pawn on b7. We're attacking the rook, so if he wants to save the material, black will play bishop to c6 here. If queen to c8 now, we just go back and black is safe. But of course, we're not going to play that. We're going to play here another beautiful sneaky move, bishop to b5. With this bishop now, we're pinning, and if bishop takes, we're going to take the rook first and win the game. So in order to save the material, black is going to play queen to d7, and here we're going to throw in this move, bishop takes on c6. And if knight captures on c6, we're going to take the rook with check and win material. And if they go for queen takes on c6, we're going to look up to the sky and laugh because queen to c8 is checkmate on the board. Let's look now at what happens after they play queen to d5. A very natural move. They protect the pawn and they also attack the knight. In this position, we're going to play pawn to d3 and protect our knight with our bishop on c1. Black can choose to play knight to f6 here, but after knight to c3, queen to a5, we're going to take this pawn and we're going to have a very good lead in development. But let's show a trick in this line to make it more fun. If black decides to keep his extra pawn, he will capture on d3 and we capture back with our bishop, giving away the g2 pawn. Black will gobble up that pawn with queen takes on g2, but after bishop to e4, this lady here on g2 has been trapped. The only move to save her is to play queen to g4, but after we swap queens with queen takes on g4, bishop takes on g4, this bishop is going to take on b7 and we're going to win a full rook and win the game. The last trick we're going to show does not lose material, but black will have such a bad ugly position that a win should happen very quickly. This is if black goes for the move pawn to f5, protecting the pawn on e4 with the pawn. A very logical move. The problem with this is that you have permanently weakened the square on f7 and there are a lot of holes to get to the black king now. So we play bishop to c4 and attack the same square on f7 now with our bishop and our knight. Knight to h6 is forced, keeping a knight on the square on f7, but remember that a knight on the rim is dim. Here we go for d3, and if black wants to keep his extra material, and to be honest, with his pieces the way they are, they might as well try to keep the pawn to claim there is some kind of compensation. Here we're going to castle, pawn's going to take on c2, and queen's going to take on c2. Here the main threat is to go rook to d1, and whatever protects on d7, either the knight or the bishop, we're going to play knight to e6, winning the queen and the game on the spot. For example, if black here plays a move like, let's say, pawn to b6, trying to develop the bishop this way, we go rook to d1, they have to block on d7 with something, and after knight to e6, notice this queen has no squares and we're just going to win the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can get some interesting games and very easy wins with this very nice variation of the Tennison Gambit. As always, stay safe, have a great day, and show respect to your opponent. See you next time.